My mom once demanded that I pay child support, not for the child, but for my younger brother, a 19-year-old slacker who lives with her, skips college, and spends her money on microloans. You have to, she kept saying, because she raised me, because I'm the eldest, because brother is your blood. I, a 27-year-old guy, chewing out a mortgage and working 12 hours a day, refused. Then she accused me of selfishness, disappointment, betrayal. Her brother knew about her plan and just shrugged his shoulders. You have money. Mom went further, telling relatives that I abandoned my family and forgot who raised me. Her version went up like a fire, and no one knew the truth, only her manipulations. I was silent, but I felt. This is just the beginning of a war where duty and love have become weapons against me. My life was like running up the stairs, where every step is a struggle. At 27, I finally got back on my feet. A good job, albeit exhausting, an apartment with a mortgage, which I delayed, giving up everything superfluous. I wasn't complaining. I was proud that I had achieved everything on my own. No connections, no handouts, no "Mom, give me the money." But Mom saw it differently. For her, my success was not a victory, but a duty. I owe it to her, to my family, to my younger brother, who, it seems, did not plan to grow up at all. When she called that evening, I was waiting for the usual, "Talk to your brother, he's freaking out again." But her words were like a punch in the gut. The voice on the phone was heavy, like at a funeral. "We need to talk," she began. I tensed, thinking that my brother was in trouble. He is 19, he lives with his mother, does not work, skips college, takes out microloans, which she extinguishes by crying to relatives. I was waiting for her to ask me to fix his brain. But she said, "You're making good money, aren't you?" I replied, "Well, I'm not complaining." "And what?" And then she said, "I need your help. I want you to start paying child support." My brother. I froze, feeling my brain refusing to believe. Alimony? For whom? I asked, hoping I'd misheard. "Your brother," she repeated, as if it were obvious. "It's hard for me. He's not back on his feet yet, and you have to help." I laughed, nervously, briefly. "Are you serious?" "He's not my child." But Mom wasn't joking. Her voice became steely. "I raised you alone. Where was your father?" "I worked, fed, clothed. And now you're an adult, you're making money, and your brother is suffering. You have to share." She demanded $500 a month, at least for a couple of years until he finds himself. Must. That word was like a hammer. I have to, because I'm the eldest. Because I grew up as a man. Because she put her life into me. I tried to object. "Mom, I pay the mortgage. I work from morning till night. Why doesn't he get a job?" She cut him off. "He's not you. He needs support. And you're selfish if you refuse." I could feel my blood boiling. Alimony payments? The brother who spends her money on clothes and parties? Who can't do the dishes at 19? But Mom only saw her own truth. She told me how she sacrificed for me, how she didn't get enough sleep, how she dragged the two of us. "If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be alive," she said, and it was like a knife. I was silent, feeling her words suffocate me. She finished, "I'm disappointed. I thought you were different," and hung up the phone. I sat staring into the darkness and thought, another one? Which one? The one who will give everything because he has to? I called my brother, hoping he didn't know. But he knew. His voice was light, as if we were chatting about the weather. "Mom said it's not hard for you. You have the money. This is for a while, then I will return it." I squeezed the phone. "Are you serious? When did you ever get anything back? Even for pizza at school?" He chuckled. "Dude, don't load it up. It's a family." I hung up, feeling rage give way to emptiness. He won't return it. I never returned it. Even the change for the coffee when I paid for it in high school. He lived like a parasite, and my mother covered for him, demanding that I become his bank. I refused to pay, not out of greed, but out of principle. I don't have to support an adult guy who doesn't want to move. But Mom didn't stop. A week later, my aunt called. "How could you do this to your mother?" I was taken aback. "What?" She said, "My mother called my relatives, crying that I had abandoned my family." that I sent her by refusing to help my brother, that I became rich and forgot who raised me. Her version went viral. A cousin wrote, "Dude, that's low." The aunt on dad's side sent a long message. "Your mom did everything for you, and you did that?" No one knew the truth. No one asked. They believed her because she was a mom and I was an egoist. I was remembering my childhood. Mom really raised us alone. My father left when I was 5, and my brother was 2. She worked 2 jobs, she came tired, but she always cooked dinner. I respected her for that, but I didn't sit idly by either. At 15, I was working part-time, delivering newspapers to buy myself sneakers. At 18, he left to study, took out loans that he paid off himself. I didn't ask her for money. I knew she didn't have any. And my brother? He grew up different. Mom spoiled him, forgave everything, absenteeism, deuces, debts. "He's small," she said, even when he turned 18. I thought she was just blind to his antics. But now I saw that she wasn't just covering for him. She makes me feel guilty for not being like him. I was looking at my apartment, which was small, but it was mine. The mortgage bills that I was stalling on, refusing vacations. On the clock showing midnight after the next working day. I had achieved everything on my own, but now it was my fault. Mom wanted me to pay for my brother as if he were a child I hadn't given birth to. Her must sounded like a sentence. And her tears, her calls to relatives, are like blackmail. I didn't know what to do. Pay? It means admitting that I am their ATM. Keep quiet? It means letting her lies grow. I felt like the family I loved was becoming a cage, but I wasn't going to give up. Her manipulations were strong, but my truth is stronger. And I knew that this was just the beginning. My mom demanded that I pay alimony for my younger brother, a 19-year-old slacker living at her expense, while I was pulling out a mortgage and working hard. When I refused, she accused me of being selfish and told my relatives that I had abandoned my family. Her brother, knowing about her plan, boasted on Instagram about rented cars and Gucci without specifying who was paying. I was silent until my cousin posted a story calling me trash for refusing to help my brother. Then I wrote a post with the facts, a screenshot of my mother's message, her demand for $500 a month, her blackmail. The post stirred up the family. The aunt doubted. The relatives began to ask questions. Mom fell silent, sending only, "You've made your choice." My brother was soon looking for a part-time job, but no one responded. The truth shattered their manipulations like a hammer on glass, and I finally breathed in freely. Family can be a cage, but truth is the key. I didn't try to argue with my mom or justify myself to my relatives. Her lies spread like wildfire. I was overindulged, shy of poor relatives, betrayed the family. She called her aunts, cousins, and friends, drawing their complaints. Her brother was adding fuel, clubs, a rented BMW, and a new Gucci down jacket flashed on Instagram. "I'm alive," he signed, without specifying whose money was flowing. I saw him spending while my mom was paying off his microloans, and I didn't say anything. But a storm was building up inside. This was not a family. This is blackmail, where I am an ATM, and they are victims of my selfishness. I held on until I saw my cousin's story. Her post was like a blow. A photo of her brother in Gucci with the caption, "Some older brothers are trash. I have money, but no conscience." I felt the blood pounding in my temples. The cousin we grew up with believed my mom's lies. I flipped through her stories, seeing likes from aunts, cousins, even neighbors. Mom convinced everyone that I was a monster who had abandoned my poor brother. I realized that silence is not allowed. Their lies grew like a weed. And if I didn't pull it out, it would strangle me. I decided to talk. Don't shout, don't blame, just show the truth. And let her do her job. I wrote a post in a family chat, which included aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone whom my mother processed. No emotions, just facts. Mom asked me to pay alimony for my brother. He's 19. He doesn't work. He doesn't study. He lives with her. She demands $500 a month because I have to, since I've grown up as a human being. I refused because I was dragging out a mortgage and working 12 hours a day. She called me selfish and told everyone that I had abandoned my family. I attached a screenshot of her message. If you live well, you have to pay. I raised you. Now it's your turn. And another one is her words. Your brother is suffering because of you. I ended up saying, I didn't leave my family. I refuse to be a bank for an adult guy who spends money on Gucci and clubs. The chat exploded. At first, there was silence, like before a storm. Then the cousin, the same one, wrote, Seriously? Did she really ask for alimony? Cousin, dude, we thought you weren't helping at all. The aunt on my mom's side, her main fan, said, But wait, alimony? Your brother? How is that even possible? I didn't answer, let them digest it. People started sending screenshots to each other, calling, arguing. Someone wrote to me in the personal account, We didn't know. She said you don't even give me enough for food. Another, This is not normal, dude, hold on. I could feel their blind faith in my mother's version cracking. The truth began to shine through like light through cracks. Mom disappeared from the chat. I haven't called or written. 3 days later, her message arrived. You've made your choice. Live with it. Her voice in my head sounded like a sentence, but I didn't feel guilty. I felt relieved. She didn't apologize. She didn't explain. She just went into the shadows, as if I, not she, had destroyed the family. I looked at her words and thought, is it my choice? Yes, I chose myself. My life, my boundaries, my truth. She wanted me to pay for her blindness to her brother, but I'm not an ATM. I'm a man who survived despite her obligations. My brother continued to hang out, but I noticed that his stories had become less frequent. A month later, he posted, I'm looking for a part-time job. Is there anyone in the delivery? The comments were empty. No likes, no take me. I knew why. The family that had applauded his success was now silent. They saw the screenshots. They heard the conversations. His Gucci and BMW didn't look cool anymore. They smelled of mom's tears and my rejection. I wasn't gloating. I just watched his facade crumble. He thought he'd be forever riding on other people's money. But the truth is a bad sponsor for such games. I was thinking about my mom. She raised us alone, and I've never denied her sacrifices. But her love for her brother was like poison. She spoiled him until he became a parasite and blamed me for not being like that. Her duty wasn't about family, it was about control. She wanted me to pay for her mistakes, for her blindness. I remembered how, as a child, she hugged us both, but she was always softer with her brother. He's the youngest, she said, forgiving his antics. I wasn't jealous. I was working, studying, building a life. But now I saw that her love was not equal. She loved her brother like a child, and me like a tool. Relatives started calling less often. The aunt who was shouting about baseness wrote, I'm sorry, I didn't know the whole story. My cousin deleted the story, but she didn't apologize. She just disappeared from the chat. My cousin invited me for a beer. Dude, this is a kick-ass. How are you holding up? I didn't hold on, I lived. For the first time in months, I slept without thinking about mom's accusations. My apartment, my mortgage, my job, it was all mine. Not must, of mine. I looked at the walls, which I paid for myself, and I felt, I am free. Karma doesn't always come with sirens. Sometimes it is silence in the comments, an empty chat, the look of relatives who no longer believe in tears. Mom and brother thought that blackmail was family. But a family is not a cage, not a duty, not an obligation. These are the ones who respect your boundaries. I broke their glass with the truth, and it cracked, showing how fragile their lies were. I don't expect an apology. I don't expect my brother to get back on his feet. I don't expect mom to understand. I'm just waiting for the morning when I'll wake up without their voices in my head. And this morning is already close.